Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Jean Sheehan, and I wanted to say what an absolute honor it is to be here in the Global Quantum Healing Summit. A super heartfelt thank to a gorgeous man that I met 4 years ago, and that is Matthew Liam Gardner for creating this magic. A super thank you to all of you that are here. What a glorious, heartfelt community. I'm just blown away. I've been watching all of you. I've been watching the comments, the sharing, and it's brought me to tears. It's quite extraordinary. So, as I said, my name is Jean Sheehan, and I thank you, Matthew, for encouraging me to do this. What am I going to share? You can see behind me is some specific codes, and I really tuned into, well, what am I going to share? I speak globally around the world on medical intuition. I'm a nurse who went into pathology, so I understand the coronavirus stuff very well, and also autopsies, but I went into nursing for a specific reason. You see, I've always been able to have the gift of being able to see inside the body, right down to the cells, the DNA, the anatomy, physiology. And I went into nursing so that I could be with patients and do case studies. I've got a ferocious science mind, which is all of this, and a ferocious woo-woo mind, just full of love. And it was the integration of the both. And so by being with the patients, I could see the codes, I could see how disease was created, I could see everything that was happening, and talking to the patients. Oh my gosh, the stories that I got were just incredible. Then my science brain said, oh my gosh, I need to have more information. And that more information was going to pathology. Because what I could see inside the body, I could see with my third eye. But my left brain said, what about these eyes? Can you really see it with that as well? So I went into pathology. So that's looking at bacteria, viruses, specimens, all sorts of parts of the body under the microscope, seeing what helps it, supports it. And what I would see with my third eye, when I was with the patient, take their sample, take it to the laboratory, put it underneath the microscope, was actually what I could see it here. So I was marrying up the both sides. I then needed to have more proof for myself, and so I went into autopsies, and those autopsies is where I needed to have proof what I could see anatomy-wise. When we cut the patients open, I could see it. But what's the point of all this? The point is that we design our destiny, that we can access consciousness, and there is a mathematical code, just like here behind me, to absolute love. And for me, the 2020 energies is all about wake up, and look what we've got. We've got this amazing global quantum healing summit. What do I love? Quantum healing, quantum physics, all that sort of stuff. So get ready to come on a ride. For those that have never seen me speak, as I said before, I speak around the world doing this, and I'm very blessed. I am supposed to be speaking on a cruise right now because I speak about quantum reality and metaphysics and medical intuition on cruise ships. I'm very blessed that I'm here on the Sunshine Coast, my hometown at Noosa, sharing it online. So get ready. I talk fast. I love to give lots and lots of value. You can watch it back and get some info on this, but I really wanted to know, what can I give that would be so supportive to lots of people? Some of you might already know this or understand it. Join me in anyway. All of this is about the journey or return to love. And for those that don't know, my branding is all about love hearts and sharing the love. So I'm going to take these off because I can't see you guys with these on. So here, this is sacred geometry. Now, geometry, I couldn't stand geometry at school. Maybe it was the maths teacher. Maybe it was the way they dealt with it. For me, if they had have done it in crystals and formation and sacred grids and crystal grids and everything, I so would have got it. So here, sacred means something really special and something that's just so divine. And for me, as a medical intuitive with my nursing background and my intuitive insight, which they nickname me the walking, talking MRI. With that, it's about something that's really special inside. And the one thing that's really special inside is every single cell has a memory, and that memory is to be of love. That's held in your RNA. And so here, these codes that I'm going to share, that I'm going to explain what happens, what are the formulas to return back to that love, what has been happening, what is going on now, what are the 2020 energies, what a divine transformational time that we're in. Yes, my heart just goes to so many people that have been affected, and infected by what's happening at the moment. And support whoever is here as well. Now, I've actually written notes because I tend to go off track, so bear with me. And I've also got the computer on just in case anyone had questions, and I can then see them. So let's go for the bumpy ride. I just get down to here. And so the codes of creation are about absolute love, and I'm using the Millennium Grid and the Millennium Calendar. Now, these two particular shapes, or sacred geometry, oh, that's right, sacred geometry. Sacred is something back to the heart, and the sacred part is of love. The geometry is there's mathematical codes to creation and to create your life and to create everything. For me as a nurse, I was looking at how, from a medical intuitive point of view, how people actually created diseases. And so I've written about it in 5 Amazon bestsellers, and run my own accredited courses and teach it at university and cruise ships and businesses and schools and things like that. Of we design and we create our own world. And so using the geometry, the mathematical formulas, we understand, well, hang on, what is actually going on? So I thought I would share about 2020, as I said, the seasons, and some medical intuition. Anything that's a form like either of these, the grid or the calendar, when it's a grid, what that means is it's a particular pattern. So just like I've got a pattern on my dress, that pattern, or I'm going to show you my tissue box, that is a pattern. That looks very much like when I used to work in pathology and things on the microscope. That particular pattern creates certain feelings, emotions, results, etc. In sacred geometry, and when I teach crystal gridding, what happens is that we want to imprint something. And so part of these are to imprint the laws of absolute love and manifesting easily, conscious creation. What was happening at the moment, and what we've done for quite a while in our humanness, is that we've created an imprint of fear. So what does that mean? I'm going to give you an everyday example. Imprinting, I know the bestest part is my beautiful fur baby Zach. We got Zach from the RSPCA, beautiful dog. When we got him, he was absolutely petrified. He was 2 years old, and he didn't know how to socialize. He didn't know how to cuddle. He didn't know how to come inside the house. He was frightened of a leaf dropping. He was frightened of water. I lived at the Sunshine Coast. I wanted to take him to the dog beach. His imprinting that he had was of fear. He was adopted out to the RSPCA because he used to jump 6-foot fences. He was frightened. His imprinting was being on his loan. So I took him to dog training. Now this is simple example explains what I'm about to share, and especially as we go to, I just have to do it, the camera's backwards, to number 7, the 2020 energies of imprint. As I take him to dog training, I'm teaching him imprinting. Imprinting the word sit. It could be in anything. I'm actually Greek Arabic. I could have used the Greek Arabic words, but I chose to use English, and I said sit, and he knew to sit on his bottom. Then the next imprint was to use a hand signal of sit and do that. As I did that, he was learning a new imprint or code of what that vibration was. Because I was giving that vibration an imprint in absolute love, he went, oh my God, I'll do that. I'll do that. So I needed to change the imprint from fear to love. As we went through the imprinting, or what we would call dog training or schools or education, same thing, his imprint became absolute love. So instead of being frightened of belief, now he's with curiosity. Instead of being frightened of the beach and the waves, it's like, I'm going to take it on. So that's part of the mathematical codes, and these codes are actually inside every single cell. Now, just that you know, because I've seen some of my clients watching this, so my big heart love to all of you guys that know my work. Some of my clients have never heard this. I've been teaching this for 25 plus years, shows my age. This stuff of the imprinting and code inside every single cell, this is called RNA. That original cell. Now that's what coronavirus number 7 attacks, is the RNA. Compared to when I was in pathology and we had corona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I left pathology, then we had 6 and now 7, and used to attack DNA, and then we go to RNA. The RNA here is that core original cell that what's the other side? Everything is absolute love, everything, and that everything is possible. So as I talk about these two codes, I'm actually talking about a 10-point Merkaba. A lot of people know about the 8-point Merkaba, which was from Atlantis, know thyself. This is talking about a 10-point Merkaba. So let's pretend I've squashed this, and when I squash it, it becomes like a Star of David, because we're talking 3D. These ancient wisdom have been taught many lifetimes, about soul's evolution from the single cell amoeba to right up where we are, from Atlantis. Lemuria, Atlantis was an incredible time, and we're repeating Atlantis right now, right down to the coronavirus. Lemuria, which was teaching about manifesting and unconditional love. Ancient Egypt, understanding the codes and pyramid energy, which this is a pyramid within a pyramid, and even the medieval times, and now this is cyclic. The word corona, or these are cycles of love, absolute cycles. I know people get frightened of the word corona. It's actually quite beautiful. It means a cycle and whole. We're in extraordinary times, and especially when I start explaining this, of evolving, of understanding that we can design our destiny and live in harmony and heart and amazingness. We are living in a little bit of fear at the moment, but you know what? That's going to pass. The codes are metaphysical sounds and vibrations that allow us to evolve. So when I share both of these, this one I share more in the corporate world, and this one to schools, but when I'm sharing it in my own private events, it's more on the metaphysical. These are all about evolving our mathematical formulas to let us tune into ourselves, open our heart, manifest so easily, design our destiny, know the universal laws of attraction and manifesting, create your own reality, access consciousness, and know anything is possible. And that's the key. At the moment, we've forgotten that anything is super possible. When you know these particular codes, you know that you can design your destiny and that everything will work out. It's just the most amazing time. So let's get rocking and rolling. So I'm going to start with the Millennium Grid. And if you're thinking, why is she going backwards? So I've turned the flat camera around so you can actually see the numbers. So I'm going to start with, what does this all mean, and what is the soul's evolution? The soul's evolution, this is not actually a 2D flat. Please envision this to be a sphere. When it is a sphere or a corona, what happens, it's one mind, one heart, one globe, one consciousness, just like this gorgeous summit that gorgeous Matthew has created. And that one mind or one heart is, we either go in fear or we go in love, one or two emotions. But we have both emotions locked in our body. So when I was nursing and in pathology, I would notice, and both as my medical intuitive clinic, I would notice that both emotions were locked in the body, but under fear, dis-ease was created. So this is also what happens on the soul evolution, that we forget that our potentiality, we forget that everything is absolutely possible. When we're born, we know When we come out into the world, we go, I am absolute love. I know I will be okay. Everything will be given to me, supported, etc. No matter what our upbringing is like, we know that somebody will feed us, cuddle us, nurse us, wipe our bottom, etc. There's just this absolute knowing. But then we start to forget. We start forgetting at all the odd numbers, the pink numbers. So age 1. At age 1, we have the illusion, what is called ego. And ego, I don't mean he's got a big ego or she's got a big ego. The ego is the illusion of separation. Now remember, actually I didn't tell you, guys, I knew all of this as a kid. I wasn't able to say it. Being Greek Arabic, it was a big no-no talking about any of this stuff. And so I used to hide and not tell anyone, and went into nursing and needed to marry up. How do I distinguish this into everyday language? And so 1-year-olds, what happens is they learn the concept of separation. They learn the concept to be in fear. Separation is in fear. And then that creates disharmony straight away. The next age is age 3, and that's where we have things like the illusions. So a lot of 3-year-olds will talk about, there's a scary monster in my bed, or underneath, in my cupboard, or underneath my bed. We'll see illusions, we'll see the fear. At age 5, there's no more freedom. The freedom is lost. The freedom of I know that I can be anywhere, do anything. Now, bear in mind, when we're born back up here, we actually access all dimensions and all aspects of universe and universes, everything. As we start to cut off from what I call the absolute, which is the totality of all reality, what happens is we start to get this crazy thing called limitations, dis-ease, disharmony, and I can't, and limitations. Then the age of 7. Between 0 and 7 is imprint. That imprint is we learn and get imprinted in us the training of this is the way that you will be. This is what is lovable. This is what is acceptable. Not good, not bad, just is. And at the age of 7, we disconnect from ourselves. Before that, we are physical and metaphysical. At the age of 7, we start to forget the metaphysical. Now, metaphysical, meta means unseen physical. So whether you call it spiritual or whatever you like to call it, I call it metaphysical. And then age 9, up until the age of 9, our hardest lessons, physical lessons, is I've got to eat, sleep, go to the toilet, learn to communicate, to walk, those crazy physical things. So a lot of boys will start to get angry at this age. No, it's not hormones. Then from the age of 10, for the rest of our life, it's all in a separate mind. So part of this evolutionary process is the 10-point Merkaba is all about accessing the one mind and the one heart, the one consciousness. Age 11, we start to separate and do the blame game. It's, this government's fault, it's a Mercury retrograde, it's a past life. But in the absolute, there's no blame because you understand that you can create anything. And then the last number, number 13, that's the number of the genius. So it's like you're standing right inside here of the mathematical code. To be the genius is to know I design, I create, I make it happen, my life, everything. When we understand the genius aspect, which is just absolute love, my most favoriteest thing, we're actually in the one mind with no fear whatsoever. Then in these even numbers, we actually just need time to integrate. So as we disconnect on the odd numbers, the even numbers, number 2, so disconnection at 1, number 2, I wake up to something and I learn judgment. Age 4, I'm really smushy in my heart space. Age 6, it's about expressing myself, but when kids are at school, they don't express themselves very well. They start to choke up and get tonsillitis. Huge tonsillitis happens here. Age 8, you'll hear children talk about cooties, girl germs and boy germs. There's a separation. Age 10, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't like that. So kids will talk about, I can't, it's all in the mind. And age 12 is like a final completion of something, usually from primary school to high school. Now, I've just shared the very, very basics of the 10-point Merkaba Millennium Grid or sacred geometry. Now, I'm telling you this for a reason, because I want you to understand what amazing, amazing quantum time we're actually in. Even though it's a crazy fear-based time, there's amazing transformations. And here on the Sunshine Coast where I live, driving from where I was to back into the office, there was thousands of Dunk Island blue butterflies. Now, they are late. They normally come out in January. Butterflies are transformation, and that means great things. I've got goosebumps. Great things are coming. So I want to talk about the 2020 energies and what amazing, 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 amazing times are happening, and how everything at the moment is to help us evolve the sacred geometry, to help us evolve to absolute love. So let's go with the number 2020, 2020. These numbers are not numerology, it's actually sacred geometry. And for those that don't know, this information actually came to me. I knew it as a child. I forgot it, as in I didn't know how to say it, express it as a child. And then I had this crazy awakening that I wrote about in my Amazon bestseller, the Jean Sheehan story, where for 7 days I had an intense headache. I called it a migraine, but it wasn't. My crown chakra like blew open. I went into many dimensions. Now I'm talking a very grounded nurse pathology person going totally woo-woo out there planet, dropping into craziness. My husband nearly divorced me because I just went for him totally nanas. And in that space, all these downloads came back again, which I pushed away. I hugged the toilet bowl for 7 days as I was vomiting. My other dog, Lucky, just howled for the 7 days. My children were tiny tots and had to fend for themselves. My husband was working away in the army as I downloaded all of this. It was pretty horrific times as this came through. Now I'm grateful. Back then, not at all. Totally resisted it. So here in the numbers, it's perfect timing. The number 2020, so we've got number 2. Number 2 is judgment and awakening. It's the same thing. We cannot have an awakening without a judgment. I'll explain what a judgment is. If I said to you guys, what are these? You would say to me, Jean, they are a pair of sunglasses. And I would say, that's a judgment. No, Jean, they're pink sunglasses. That's a judgment. They're pink heart sunglasses. No, that's a judgment. To judge something is to put it into form and to call it something. So somebody else might call them spectacles. Someone else might call them glasses. Somebody else might call them something else. It's the same as when you've got a texter. I've heard all different names for texters as well, from Nico, whatever. Let's go back to the imprinting. When I said before about imprinting, let's pretend this is a texter. I could teach you with the imprinting that it's not a texter, it's a rhinoceros. In this time of this millennium, it's all about awakening to a new imprint, which the original RNA of your DNA imprint is absolute. It's returning to love. And that's what these beautiful mathematical codes are all about. However, when I'm teaching it to corporate world, I don't teach it this way, by the way. So the number 2 says, judge and wake up. So I judge that these are glasses, and I look at the world and I say, oh my gosh, the world's just crap. But I put these special glasses on and I go, awakening, the world's amazing. There's amazing things happening. Now, what happens with these codes in the ancient times of Atlantis, Lemuria, ancient Egypt, medieval, etc., was helping the world to evolve to say, it's not bad times. There is transformation coming. Turn it around. So what would happen is that we turn the world around to see it from a different perspective. How good is this? So the number 2, from the year 1999 to the year 2999, that short little millennium compared to all of lifetime and all of consciousness and absolute, we have a beautiful time to wake up, which we've been having so far, from fires and floods and droughts and tsunamis and twin towers and everything, is wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, get back into our heart space. So in the 2020 energies, that is actually saying wake up, wake up. Now, not everyone is waking up, and sometimes that we want to resist. As I said, I resisted downloading this information. So I had this chronic migraine, vomiting, everything, loony bin type thing, where my husband wanted to lock me up into a psych unit. Here, the 2020 is saying, please, to wake up. The 0 is here. If you draw a cross in the center, this is actually 0 point. In maths at school, you would have learnt right down here is minus y, minus x, plus x, right in that cross part there, like you can see right here. That is 0 point. At 0 point, there's no love, no fear, no anything. It's just in peace, that mind, one heart. And so it's saying, wake up, be in the heart, wake up, be in absolute, which is a totality of all reality, which is amazing, amazing times. Are you with me so far? I hope so, because I haven't seen any comments or anything else, and I'm not watching, so I'm a bit slack. So it's an amazing time, the 2020. Now remember, this is a sphere, and we're all in that one sphere, just like the world is a sphere. So that one heartbeat of the world, because this is actually pulsating. This is actually pulsating, going, okay, boom, boom, heart, boom, boom. So as a medical intuitive, when I was nursing and looking at patients, I could see all of this dynamic in their DNA and RNA. And again, in pathology, when I'm looking under a microscope, I could see the corona, or the wholeness of the one heartbeat, one mind. It was just incredible. Then I'm going to take you on another journey. So we've got the number 2020. And I know I'm talking fast, but I want to give you as much as I can. Now we're going to go to, what if it's just the year 20? So the year 20 is actually held in the number 7. These numbers and cycles go around every 13 seconds, milliseconds, minutes, hours, years, days, months. In that 13-year cycle is like the Fibonacci code. It's ever evolving and ever love. And it's actually a vortex that ascends and descends, but it spirals up and down to always be in that beautiful heart space. So as the numbers go around, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We'll start with 2019. So 2, wake up, 2, heart, and 19. Now, if you look at most 19-year-olds, they might have moved out of home, changed jobs, gone to university, changed at university, got engaged, broken up with a partner. There'll be some sort of expression of themselves. At age 6, it's all about expression, throat chakra, being heard, listened to. So at 2019, a lot of people were challenged and said, oh my gosh, it's the worst world ever because I just can't seem to be me. And yet the universal codes were actually saying, a time to express yourself differently. So I'm going to give you an example. Knowing all this, I went, it's time for me to express myself differently. Last year was the last year that I did private practice of medical intuitive sessions. I only teach and keynote speak and write books now on this subject. I don't do private sessions after 25 plus years. So that was, it's time to express myself in a different way. No more private sessions because I can reach a bigger audience. The other way I wanted to express myself was also, I was going grey. Now I'm giving you everyday examples so you can understand these codes and how they work. I was going grey. My natural colour is brunette. I was going grey, and my hairdresser said, you know what, with the greys, if you go lighter, the grey will be easier. So express yourself differently. That's an example. So then we move into 2020, and the number 20 is held in the number 7. I just love this stuff. Love, 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 because I know exactly what is going to happen at each level so that I can design and create things. So now let's go to 2020. This is just so, so important that to know these are the codes to creation, ascension, and absolute love. The 20 and the number 7, 7 is let's have a new imprint. Now, I'm going to use the coronavirus as an example. It's up to you what sits in your heart, what's your truth. I'm just using my pathology, nursing, medical, intuitive wisdom, and know what's deep in my heart. That here, 7 with the imprint, is all about change the pattern of what we are, go back to the original cell that we are, and the original cell is the absolute love. Here, go back to that. And to do that, sometimes we have to have big like tsunamis or big slap in the face or a big kahuna of something to wake up. We're human. We tend to go, oh, it'll be right, and then a slap, we've got it. So here, the imprint, 20 being in here, is we need to create a new imprint. If you look at the coronavirus, it hits the RNA cell, which is the core imprint of who we are. Sometimes it can be challenging because I know exactly what's going to happen. This is like the old crystal ball. I know what's going to happen each year. And here, I knew that people were going to be beside themselves. And if you look at people, they are. This is a bonus. When we're beside ourselves, we're split from ourselves to reevaluate things, to come back together, to be whole. And the number 7 is change the imprint so it can be whole. I'll go back to the beginning, and I was talking about how I imprinted new dog training with my dog, Zach. His imprint was fear-based. Didn't know how to socialize, didn't know how to wag a tail, just cowered in the back, was just petrified. Now, my dog is a New Zealand Hunterway, so it's a Rottweiler cattle dog cross. It's quite a big dog. Now, he bounds up and he's like, "G'day, how you going? I want to share the love." We changed the imprint, but I needed to separate from himself of the old aspect of fear to change the imprint to know that he is loved. So he bounds up to people and saying, "G'day, I love you. How are you? Why haven't you been on the walk with us before?" That's part of this. He knows he's whole and complete. To be whole and complete is to know that I am absolute love. I am loving. I am loved. I am love. Pure, utter love. That's all held in our RNA. So these times here with the 2020, knowing that this energy is about wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, but be the genius. The genius is to know that I can make anything happen. So I'm going to give you an example. People in business, such as myself, didn't have online programs, and so I have experiential courses where you can immerse yourself in these dynamic energies, and they're just incredible. Or speaking on cruise ships of 3,000 people, and the energy's intensified. Now it's like, whoop, split from myself. I need to re-imprint, do something whole, and make it in a new way. So now, all this week, everything is going online. That energy allows everything to be in that whole and complete space. But now I'm going to go up here to number 1. Because we're with sacred geometry, there's always opposite. This number aligns with here. That number says to reprint, imprint ourselves, to reconnect to ourselves, the absolute love. And the mathematical form is we need new beginnings. Amazing. Separate from the old ways. So this is actually the mathematical code that says, right, 2020, it's time to wake up, be the genius. And to be the genius, here you need to re-imprint something else. Then you'll know you're a genius, because this all crosses, they all cross through the line of genius. So they're all mathematical formulas, just like if you've ever watched The Big Bang Theory with Sheldon, those mathematical formulas, so much easier this way, to say you are the genius. Do it a different way. So what if everyone losing their jobs didn't lose their jobs? They're re-imprinting a new way to do it. So I've got personal trainer clients who are actually now doing Zoom sessions. I've got other clients who are teaching drawing online through Facebook Live. We've got this amazing summit where everybody gets to share and connect. There's actually a bigger connection. For me, I'm super excited. Part of these mathematical codes in the genius is to know that a little bit of fear may come up of, Jean, what are you going to do? All your courses are experiential, and it's the immersion of people together from 10 to 3,000 people. Oh, doesn't matter. I'm a genius. Boom, let's create a new beginning. So what is happening at the moment is mathematically the most incredible transformations and challenges. With challenges, we get to see everything is possible. Now, that's part of the sacred geometry of these codes. Now, a code is like a code to, say it's a code to enter your building, and you go 7458 and it opens the door. That's this. This is opening the door to your potentiality of what is possible. And it's the knowing that anything is absolutely possible. All of this is within every single cell. How crazy divine is that? Each of you have a 10-point Merkaba within and every single cell. Now, the word Merkaba, this means body, soul, light, is a vehicle. And your one vehicle that you have, the only thing that you own is your body. This helps you to get the quantum reality, take it, alchemize it your way, and deliver it. I call it being of service, which I just love, love, love. That now brings me on to the other code. Let's skip over onto this side. So this one, Millennium Grid, amazing, just amazing. So I know exactly what's going to happen for the year. I know it's going to happen for 2021 already. What's the purpose of this? Then I can support school teachers and what happens for children. I can support businesses, what's going to happen for the future. I can support people of how do you design your destiny to live in your heart, to know that you can manifest. Manifesting is easy. Become the queen or king of manifesting, the leader that you are. Access consciousness, really super, super easy. That aligns with the Millennium Calendar. And I'm just going to move my chair over. The Millennium Calendar, I'm going to do the Southern Hemisphere. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, just flick it around. So here, everything is aligned. This is the shamanic principles that align with this. Everything is aligned in fours. So we have numbers of 13. And if you add the number of 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Everything that is 4, and there's 4 chambers of the heart. All of this aligns with your body mathematically. So we'll go just the season of autumn here in the Southern Hemisphere. Autumn is all about completion. It is time to complete. What happens is December, January, February, March, everyone is crazy. Summertime is busy, 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 so busy. By the time they get to autumn, the beginning of March, they're going, oh my God, I can't fit any more in. I got to do, and then come April, which was started yesterday here in Australia, it's like, oh my gosh, why am I doing what I'm doing? Now, added to that, we've got things like the coronavirus, or here where I live, November last year, I was evacuated because of fire. So at the end of my street, we've got a time of, okay, time to be in the heart space. Why am I doing what I'm doing? This also aligns with 22, wake up, be the genius, wake up to what is really actually possible to create new beginnings, to create an imprint back to your original cell, your RNA, which is absolute love. So over here, excuse me, in the designing of the destiny, the seasons actually tell you exactly how to design your life. Such as, when I teach this, I say, March, no holding back. Go and do your sales, go and do your marketing, go and share to the world, which is what happened. Everyone went online to share and service the world. How awesome, awesome, awesome. And then come April, what we're in now with Southern Hemisphere is, if you're going to be a service, which is what we're here to do and be and shine, is do it with absolute love. There's a lot of people feeling lost and isolated and just almost tearing their hair out, beside themselves, which is what 2020 is. They're beside themselves. Share that aspect of love. So if you're a personal trainer, do them online. If you do drawing, do it online. Meditation, divine crystal balls. I teach that as well in the courses. I love them. I call Salabas. Do it online. Help people to be in that space. And then come May, start commencing to wind down, finish off. So being in that service. So these codes tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, personally and professionally. Why is this important? these have a vibrational frequency. We go out of alignment with this, and what happens is the universe says, tut, 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 human beings, you think that you know everything? We'll just show you, and we will have tsunamis and fires and everything else that's happening. And what we do, these are all cyclic. They keep going round and round. This one, we just keep going round the flow, round and round and round. But at the same time, this one's sitting on top of, go around, but hang on, stop, get off, be the genius. Just take a moment, take a breather. Coronavirus. Corona hits the lungs. Lungs are all about take a breather. I'm going to show you my medical intuitive cards in a moment. Just what they take a breather. Allow yourself just to really, really breathe in life. Absolutely breathe in life and release all the tension you have, all the grief you have that's held in the lungs, and allow yourself to respond, not reactive, oh my God, in fear, but respond in love and make this happen. So these vibrational codes, again, taught in Atlantis to evolve everyone to a higher level of consciousness, but we went oops and we did a little bit of naughty stuff. Lemuria, teach the unconditional love, and we did oops. Medieval times, same thing, evolve. Ancient Egypt, same thing. It's now we get to actually evolve. So here these vibrations and codes are saying, do this here. If you don't, me as the universe and the absolute is going to say, guys, stop. You human beings know what to do. We're going to have to smack your hands and wake you up. Remembering the year, the millennium, 1999, 2999 is such an incredible awakening period. So I'm going to give you an example. This year in September, I'm launching my animal medical intuitive course aligned with everything here. I'm doing it in September, which is spring for the Southern Hemisphere. Everybody, by the time we get to spring, says, what else is out there? There's a transformation that's happened in the winter period, which is what's happening in the Northern Hemisphere with the cold weather and everything they've got, we're about to go through. There's a transformational period. Right, what's on the other side? What's on the other side? And it's the same with like the corona. We'll all be going, what's on the other side? But we will have transformed and been into a new form, the quantum reality. Here, relating to the 2020, I knew what was going to happen this year, and next year is the time to release this year, to release about the animal medical intuition. And look at coronavirus. The wet markets in China, animals are screaming, wake up, you stupid humans. So going back to these codes, there's a vibration that says, guys, come on, let's go, let's wake up, let's snap out of this. So I want to again thank Mr. Beautiful Matthew Liam Garner for allowing me to share these codes of creation that we can design a destiny. 2020 energies is the most amazing energy. It's not about being beside ourselves. It's actually about being that integrated whole being, which this summit, this Global Quantum Healing Summit is all about. So on that note, I thought that I would end with some insights for our bodies as a collective consciousness. This is actually using, I hope this helps you, and please, if you've got questions, put them down below and I'll answer them afterwards. I'm going to use my medical intuitive cards. They're the only ones in the world. I'm super, super excited about them. I've got doctors, nurses, osteos, all sorts of people use them. But we're going to use the cards to see, right, what do we actually need to know now? Because the other part with these codes of creation and sacred geometry codes of activation and absolute love is to know that you only own one thing in the world. I don't own my earpods, my sunglasses, my Merkaba, my pen, my tissue box, all those things. I only own my body. And yes, it is the amazing temple. Let's support it. It's a vehicle of potentiality. Anything is possible, right down to allowing dis-ease to become at ease. Will they find a magnificent support for coronavirus so it doesn't harm us? Absolutely. I've seen it in nursing and pathology and autopsies when I worked in that. And as a medical intuitive, definitely. Even wrote a book about it. banish disease, bite me, banish disease. Let's see what our bodies are saying right now for the coronavirus and codes of creation. Because when you tune into your body, I'm just going to shuffle the cards. When you tune into your body will always speak. Just in regards to the lungs and the immune system and they also align with medical astrology. So what happens in the planets? For example, the lungs align with Gemini, and that is all about gossiping. And so what's happening is our lungs are being affected by the corona, and we are gossiping on social media and the news. It's like, do about coronavirus. And yet, can you imagine the gossip? If I had the Jean Sheehan show, it would be, and the gossip today we had over 30,000 people in the Global Quantum Healing Summit sharing love, gifting, connecting, or in the whole wide world with X amount of thousands of millions, zillions of people, there is only love. Imagine that. Oh my gosh. So let's go to the body. So, and also the spleen, which is about worry, thinking, worry, thinking. And you'll hear people speak the body language of you'll worry yourself sick. Well, of course you will, because the spleen is all about worrying too much and thinking too much and thinking too much and worrying too much, and you become sick and your immune system goes crash. Then you've also got the thymus gland right here, which was a big scary monster when I was nursing many years ago and AIDS came out. We went through the same thing as this with the corona of like, don't touch the tissue box, don't breathe, don't go outside, don't do anything. Here, our immune system here is saying, hey, I'm eavesdropping. What are you actually saying? What are you frightened of? So let's go to the body. I just love these cards. So we're going to just randomly pick a card for April to begin with. So what in April do we all need to know as a collective consciousness here in this divine group, besides knowing absolute love, but as a world, and I've got goosebumps as I say this, so we'll just pick a card, and it's the pelvis, which just amazing. So I hope you guys can see this. The pelvis is all about sturdy stability foundations. For April, the month of April is all about be in your heart space. Do everything that you love to do and be of service and share that love out. Well, that makes so much sense because our pelvis says, yep, so aligned. So our body will align with these codes as well. And it says, make sure everything that you do for April, your pelvis is speaking, make sure it's stable. Now, stability is not just income, stability is connection. Call each other up, send each other messages, do videos, whatever it is, do a text, do a crazy meme for each other, whatever it is, connect stability. So that's for April. Now, I'm going to pull a card for the southern hemisphere for autumn. Let's pull a card for autumn. So here we go. For autumn, we've got elbows. For autumn on the southern hemisphere is about completion. So here, the elbows are actually saying, in this time of completion, a lot of things are completing. Loss of jobs, loss of connections, loss of relationships, loss of lots of things. You don't have to be strong. Have you ever heard the saying, I hit my funny bone and it damn well is not funny? That's the elbow. The elbow is actually saying, I'm just getting the camera, the elbow is saying, listen, you don't have to show that you're strong. You can actually reach out for help. The elbow is also where one of the body parts that we hold depression, that in this time of April, a lot of people might go into a depressive state because they just don't know why they're doing. It's that real scary part of uncertainty. So the elbow is saying for all of us at this time, please, you don't have to be strong, just reach out for help. Allow yourself to be supported. Now, let's go to the number 7, because 2020 is held in the 7. What imprint do we need? We know it's the new imprint, like the coronavirus is doing, is the new imprint of absolute love. Think a different way. So when you think that this life is going normally and we become too comfortable, boom, up it flips, our world turns upside down. We go, what? We've got to go this way, new direction. Anything is possible according to these amazing codes. So let's find out for the new imprint what body part is required. Whoop, and there it is as it flicks out at me. The spine. And the spine is that new, oh, I'm going to cry. The spine is saying, back yourselves up. You've all got to back yourselves up. Now that is so prevalent. Here in Australia, we went really, not me, but some people went really crazy cuckoo with the coronavirus, and they didn't back themselves up. What they went and did, they went and bought toilet paper and pasta. I don't know what that's meant to do, but besides toilet paper being toilet paper, but they weren't backing themselves up. To back ourselves up is to know everything's going to be okay. And these beautiful codes of creation actually say it always works out. You are always going to be supported. And that's the spine. So with the energies here of number 7, the spine within every single being on this planet, right down to single cell amoeba or a cell has a spine in it. Children, adults, animals, everything has a spine in it, is saying, back yourself up. You'll always, 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 always be supported. I just love these medical intuitive cards and codes. Now we're going to do another one. And that other one is with the 2020 energies, which is all about people being beside themselves, which is like, oh, I've just got to change and look at everything from a different aspect. Let's find out what body part for the whole globe at this time is speaking. Now, in these medical intuitive cards, you don't just have the anatomy and physiology. And by the way, it comes with a little book. I've written a book about it. This is like my module 1, 2, 3 condensed down, my courses condensed down into a little personalized book it has also the chakras. Each of the chakras has a body consciousness in it, and also dimensional stuff. So let's see what comes out for the 2020. And I'm going to pull this sticky out one. Okay, testes. So the body, I'll just go back to for a moment. Oops, the body doesn't know if it's male or female. So when I was creating these cards, you'll notice my dude is androgynous. The body doesn't actually know if it's male or female. We put that limitation on it. And so here, when the testicles come up, it's saying, right, now is the time to be grounded. Ground your ideas. So accessing the quantum and these beautiful codes, grounded. What is it that you've always wanted to do? So I'm going to give you an everyday example. I've always wanted to create online programs, but I had this awful disease called Ghana. I'm gonna do it one day. Well, guess what? Gonna do it came this week when I had to make all my courses, my medical intuitive courses, go online starting right this week. So is that a Ghana? So what's happening is the 2020 is being really grounded with what you want. Access the quantum reality. Everyone can do it. No denial. And it's not about third eyes are closed or you don't have a throat chakra or you're blocked or any of that, because with these codes, it's understanding none of that is actually a reality. The reality is everything is possible. Just bring it here, ground it. Allow yourself to have fun. Make sure it's fun and do it in a masculine way. Now, the masculine way is actually do it. If it had been ovaries, it would have been grounded, but do it in a feminine way. So just think about it, ponder it, whatever. The testes are actually saying to everybody, get those quantum reality ideas you've got according with the mathematical codes, which is saying now is the time. Enjoy it, play with it, access it. Remembering that these codes are actually saying anything is possible. Access consciousness, return to love, access absolute love. And the absolute is the totality of all reality. There's one reality, and that reality is absolute love. Guys, that's been an hour. I hope this has absolutely supported you as you have supported so many people in this particular group. I am super, super honored to the gorgeous Matthew, as I said, for asking me to connect in this group. I am super, super heartfelt that the energies from this group are a ripple effect. Part of my Millennium Modality trademark symbol and trademark modality is it's a ripple effect. You'll see here, one heart, one mind, the mathematical codes. We all start sending out love bubbles. You know what's going to happen? Well, we're just going to love each other. What an amazing space and place to be here. Thank you so much for people that have watched this. I'm very honored, and I'm very honored to share this insight with all of you. I sincerely hope this has helped you. I talk fast. I love to give value. I love to give as much as I can. If you do want to know more, I've got lots of free stuff on my YouTube channel and my website, Millennium Education. There's 13 videos. There's 20 videos on this. Remember that you are just absolute love. Always. And remember, you can only be the love, see the love, and that love or absolute is actually held in the organ of the heart, and everybody has a heart. So from my heart to yours, mwah, loads and loads of love. Have lots of fun, and please remember, your health is your wealth. You own one thing ever, and it's your body. So from me, nickname is Walking Talking MRI, or Jean Sheehan, the medical intuitive and founder of Millennium Education. Have loads and loads of fun on this journey and wave of love. Bye guys.